Hey you guys, welcome to the Play Against the Creator video of Snack Time. What we're going to do is, if you want to print out or if you have a way to fill this out digitally, we're going to do a play along video. Obviously you can only play along with this once, as you'll know kind of what's coming up and stuff, but this is a chance to play through a game. If you want to play against me, then go ahead, we can compare scores at the end. The only hard thing is I won't know when you've ended, so you'll have to wait until I end. If you would have ended the game before me, you're welcome to take a look at where I'm at on my score sheet, calculate my score and compare that way, or you can just consider it a fun solo game. Really quick, let's go through the rules, and then we'll go ahead and get to playing Snack Time. So this is a roll and write game, so the main mechanic is you'll roll and you'll write. At the beginning of a round, we'll go ahead and flip one of these character cards, and these pedestrians are going to walk past each turn. They'll shift down, and another pedestrian will enter the scene. But they'll shift down, walking past each of these 5 sewer entrances. Now those sewer entrances correspond with the 5 sewer entrances on your score sheet. Moving on to the score sheet, kind of the areas that you need to pay attention to are these 4 corners are where your monsters will grow. The 3 skull silhouettes next to each monster chamber are the snacks they've eaten. You'll see that they correspond here to this number in the corner. So if you snack on this individual, you'll write that number, which is number 7, next to the monster that took a bite out of them. You can see each monster will be comprised of 4 different traits. Those traits are on the dice that we'll get to later. Then at the bottom, you can see there are animal control icons. So if you consume, or if you snack on a pedestrian that has, down here is kind of like your penalty box for snacking on the person. If you snack on this individual, you would have to cross off 2 of your animal control icons. As far as laying pipe, the rules are it has to be connected to pre-existing pipe, which currently exists coming out of your monster chambers or coming from a sewer entrance. You can't just put it floating out in the middle of nowhere. These water areas are not off limits, they're just for decoration. It's a question we get all the time. So the way the game goes is we will add a pedestrian and move down, and then we'll roll all of the dice. And then each player, wow, full house. Each player is responsible. Don't add these in yet. This is not the actual game. But first we'll add the monster appendages to any of these boxes. They do not have to be added to the same, so you could do 1 tentacle up here and 1 tentacle down here. And then we'll draw in all of the pipes. All of them must be drawn. And then after that, we check to see if any of your monsters can snack. We'll go through, once it's time to check for that, I'll go through how to do that. But basically you're looking at, okay, is this monster attached to any sewer entrances? If they are, I check those to see if the requirements are met. The requirement for eating a pedestrian or snacking on a pedestrian are the 2 icons on that card, as well as the 2 icons next to them. So there's a max of 4. It could be 0. Oftentimes there is a pedestrian that doesn't take any requirements. This is the only time this icon appears, but it's a tentacle or a tooth. So if that's hard to see, it's tentacle or tooth, eye, and etc. So let's go ahead and move into this. I'm sure I'll cover little minute rules as we go along, but I don't want to belabor this too much. So let's get playing. All right, so we are going to leave this character out here as our first, and then we'll go ahead and roll the dice. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and place these over here each time. You're welcome to pause if you need more time. I'm not going to build time in because you can all pause a lot easier than you can fast forward. So an eye and a tooth, 2 straight pipes, and a T pipe. All right, we're going to move on to round 2. So I'll go ahead and move this out of the way. I'm going to slide this down here. Add another pedestrian. Okay, so this is a great time for this to come out. So this is a trap. So as people are alerted to your shenanigans, traps are set. They are a one-time event and do not have any long-term effects. So this is a trap at manhole or at sewer entrance number 5. So we're gonna put it right there to remind us that a trap was set at 5. Now what we do is we check to see if any of our monsters are connected to sewer entrance 5. If they were, they would sustain damage. In this case, nobody. It's impossible for you to be connected to sewer entrance 5 at this point in the game. So now we know that we can connect over to sewer entrance 5 without any risk of being trapped at. We'll go ahead and put out another pedestrian. All right. We're getting some difficult ones to snack on right off the bat. And we're going to go ahead and roll again. So we have another eye and another tooth. A straight, an elbow, and a T as far as the pipes go. All right, so just to give you an update, I have 2 eyes in here, a tooth and a tooth in each of these, and I've connected these over, so I'm gonna try and get over to number 1, and I've connected these into the same line. It's a way to efficiently get places, but if traps activate, it's a lot more dangerous. So let's see how we go. I'm not connected to any, so I don't need to check to see if I've snacked on anybody, and so we can move on to the next roll. We'll slide these down. Go ahead and flip. Oh, wow. All right, so we have a trap at number 2. So I don't think anybody's connected to number 2, but I think it may be possible. It is possible if all of yours have connected over to number 2. In the case that you've been damaged, what happens is you are required to cross off one of your existing monster appendages. What that does is it makes it harder for them to snack on people in the future, and it's also going to negatively affect your score at the end. The way you score points is, of course, the quality of the snacks that you've eaten, which are in these numbers right up here. And you also are scored on the satisfaction of your monsters, which will be the number of remaining appendages they have multiplied by the number of snacks that they've had throughout the day. So each monster has a potential of scoring 12 points for their satisfaction, and then obviously a lot more points for the quality of snacks that they've had. So we're just gonna go ahead and add another one. All right, things are getting a little bit easier here. Let's go ahead and roll. Another eye and another tooth. Wow, maybe we'll get some tentacles out here eventually. Also keep in mind some pedestrians will damage your monsters. They'll fight back when they are snacked on, so be aware of that as well. You can also get damage from snacking on certain individuals. All right, so now I've successfully connected over to sewer entrance 1 for both of these monsters. So now I can look and say, okay, they do need to still snack. Look over here at the requirements. Unfortunately, this character needs, or this pedestrian needs, a tentacle and an eye in order to snack, which I'm missing tentacles because we haven't rolled any. So I know that they can't snack at sewer entrance number 1 currently, so I can stop checking at that point. We're gonna move on to the 4th round, where we'll slide these down and flip another one. Okay, we'll roll. There's our first tentacle. And one of each type of pipe. All right, I finished drawing in my appendages and pipes. So what we have here is my monster is fully grown here. I have 2 eyes, a tooth, and a tentacle. He's connected to numbers 1 and 2. So I can go ahead and look at 1. He needs a tooth and a tentacle, so I actually successfully snack here. When you check for snacks, you should always check in this order. So it will reach a point where you may be capable of snacking on multiple pedestrians, but you only have 1 space left. You will check in this order each time. So I check at number 1. I do have a tentacle and a tooth on this monster, so I'm gonna go ahead and write a number 3 right here. And because of the 2 animal control there, I have to cross off 2. I always forget this. This is a issue that we're working through on like adding icons to the cards. But each time a trap is set, in this case, we do have to cross off one of the animal controls. So you obviously wouldn't have already, but go ahead and cross off 2 additional because each time a trap comes out, one of these gets crossed off. And then I can also check at number 2 for both of these monsters, which he needs a tooth and an eye, and he has a tooth and an eye. He's not connected. And so I can go ahead and snack on him as well. He has no penalty, but he's also very low points. So this monster is just about full for the day, and we're gonna move down the line for turn 6, I believe, if I'm counting right. Nope, turn 5 is what we're on. All right, so we'll go ahead and roll the dice. Remember, oh, I believe that was there. All right, now we're getting all the tentacles. Remember, you can always pause if you need more time. All right, so it's still that only these 2 monsters are connected to sewer entrances, so I'm going to check numbers 1, 2, and 3 to see if they meet the requirements. Starting with 1, we have an eye and a tooth, which does meet this requirement, so, oh, but unfortunately I get injured. That's the worst. So it doesn't really matter at this point because he's finished eating, but I cross off an eye. And this monster's finished. I no longer have to check for, to see if he can snack on pedestrians. The unfortunate part is he still can be injured by traps that come out at numbers 1 and 3. Then I can check for this monster, a tooth and a tentacle. I have an eye and a tooth only at number 2. So he takes a bite out of him and crosses off 2. Wow, this is going to end with really low points. And then at number 3, he only needs a tooth and an eye, but I don't have an eye over here. So that concludes that scoring. Remember, pause if you need to, but we're going to go ahead and move on. That pedestrian flips. We scoot all of these down. And we flip another one. That's more like it. 2 eyes and 2 teeth. Okay, and then we roll. More tentacles. Wow, we didn't have many at the beginning, and now we quite possibly have way too many. So go ahead and draw in the 2 tentacles. So since I don't have to check for this monster anymore, I'll just check for this one. He's connected to 1, 2, 3, and 5, so anything but 4, 2 tentacles, and a tooth. He just needs, so starting over here, can't eat there. Nope, needs an eye. This guy just needs a tooth. Okay, so yeah, he's gonna end up, so I've snacked on him multiple times now. And I cross off 2 more, so we're only 1 animal control symbol away from ending the game. And then move on to 4 I'm not connected to, but 5 I am. That's 2 eyes and a tooth, which I can't do. Pause if you need to, and we're gonna move on to the next round. All right. So these are the lovers. They're the only card with 2 individuals on it, which means, and they're numbered the same, so that if you can only eat 1, you'll only eat 1. And they will fill up 2 slots for your snack if you do snack on them. All right, let's go ahead and roll. Eye and a tentacle, 2 elbows and a straight. Okay, I've finished drawing mine in, so I'm going to check again. Doesn't need to check. These 2 don't need to check because they're not connected to anything. This guy has 3 tentacles and a tooth. So he is 1 tooth away from being able to snack on the lovers. A tentacle, tooth, and 2 eyes, so can't snack there. 3, just 2 eyes, still can't snack there. Not connected to number 4. but is connected to number 5, which is just a tooth and an eye. So still missing an eye to snack on him. Now next turn, unless this monster can snack on somebody before number 5, he's going to snack on him most likely and end the game. So let's move on to the next one and see how we do. Ooh, 3 tentacles actually. That'll work. Let's roll the dice. An eye and a tooth. Now these should be the last 2 monster appendages that you add to your monsters. And then they should be all full, and we'll actually stop rolling those dice from this time on. So checking for this monster, since he's the only one left that isn't fully fed and is connected, he's going to actually snack here, which is 3 tentacles, giving this one a final 2. And then he's full, so I don't have to check any further. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. Pause if you need to. Oof, but that ends it. Okay, so there's a trap at number 1. This is probably the worst case scenario for me. 2 of my monsters are attached to sewer entrance number 1. So we're going to cross off 2 appendages, 1 on each. And then because that also crosses off one of the animal control symbols, that ends the game. So that ended pretty quick, faster than a lot of games, but I'll go ahead and show you how we total up the score. So I'm just going to add 3 plus 2 plus 2, so we're going to get 7. Then we have 2 times 3, which will be 6. And so this monster scored a total of 13 points. This monster got 3, 6, 7, 8. And then its satisfaction level is 3 times 3, which is 9. So this monster got a total of 17. Then we can add those 2 together to get 30 points. One of my lowest scores. I think my lowest is officially 25, but that's pretty bad. Generally, 90s is a pretty decent score. I don't know that I've ever broken 100 personally. So given a couple more rounds, I probably could have connected into there and eaten some pedestrians really fast through here, but the trap definitely threw a wrench in those plans. So that's the game. Let me know in the comments whether you beat me, whether you tied, whether how it went. This was not my strongest game, so I would have done some things very differently. Hopefully you had fun. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, if I made any errors or if you have suggestions for how the game could be better. We are still in a phase, as of the publishing of this video, of still making some changes and some adjustments. So thank you so much for playing along, and I hope you enjoyed the playthrough of Snack Time.